Defence and the prosecution set out their cases yesterday. Just give us a gist of what was said.
Well, effectively, this is the fallout, as you said, of the Jeffrey Epstein situation, including allegations against Prince Andrew. First of all, the prosecution are alleging that Ghislaine Maxwell effectively acted as a madam for Jeffrey Epstein, procuring young women under the guise of massages, and then he would abuse them quite horribly, particularly younger girls. Now, remember, we are talking about a man who is already a convicted child sex offender, Epstein, that is, and all the girls involved, or many of them, were under the age of 18. Important to bear in mind, in the United States of America, the age of consent is 18. Now, Ghislaine Maxwell will argue that she was simply nothing more than Jeffrey Epstein's partner, and the idea that she was involved is simply just making her a scapegoat. Many of us will remember the British police's failure over Jimmy Savile led to allegations against other celebrities that were later proved to have been wholly unfair. But of course, one of the big things that many British viewers won't realise is that travelling across state lines can bring you into trouble with the law if you are committing an offence. And let me just explain that to you. If you ask a 16-year-old girl from, say, New Jersey to come to New York and you know that she is going to be sexually abused, then you will be prosecuted for effectively child sex trafficking in the same way as you would be charged if you came over the border from France to the United Kingdom. And so Ghislaine Maxwell is in significant trouble if she was aware that these girls were being abused and she was part of procuring them for Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, some people are saying, aren't they, that she's being used as a scapegoat for Jeffrey Epstein. What do you make of that?
I think the troubling element of this for everybody, and this goes for both Ghislaine Maxwell and Prince Andrew, this man was convicted of child sex offences, and we are talking about things sometimes that happened after that conviction, after he was released from his very brief spell in prison. And so, of course, I wouldn't expect anybody to necessarily know the behaviour of absolutely everybody they've ever associated with. But once somebody in Epstein's position has been convicted, once they've gone to prison, and then to associate with them afterwards, I would say is clearly a significant weakness, particularly if you are Ghislaine Maxwell or Prince Andrew and you're trying to argue that you didn't know what this man was up to. It was in all the papers. It was huge news at the time. Perhaps not in the United Kingdom, but anybody in the United States would have known that this man had been convicted.